Good morning, officially, everybody.
Good morning, good
Hey man.
morning.
Episode one, season three,
Let's go.
Oof.
on brand. Crazy start for a Sunday. You got me in control of the Zoom link, so hopefully it doesn't drop off. There's gonna be technical difficulties, letting you know right now.
That's
But
just
yeah,
part of the brand.
yeah, building,
I feel
always
that I
building
feel
with the
like that's on
boys.
brand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not built with the boys, it's building with the boys.
Exactly.
Which, which, by the way, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Welcome back. Big shout out to the guys, the boys. We wouldn't be building with the boys if we didn't have the boys. So, I mean, this. Thank you for all the off-season work, all the flexibility. We switched some stuff around that we'll talk about with the format and kind of our workflow. Super exciting changes. Already a lot of progress being made. So, just grateful to you guys first and foremost, and then just grateful to anyone listening. I think we might have maybe let's make a goal one consistent listener this time. I mean, besides ourselves.
Yeah,
I think we can do that.
Yeah.
definitely
And then
doable.
I think, yeah, we can go. I'm taking the over on that one. Yeah, so super happy. I think the thing that makes me the happiest is one, what a cool hobby. What a cool thing to spend time on.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and then just with the adjustments being made, I feel like progress is gonna be a whole lot more light speed than it was last season.
For sure.
So one of the key changes for this year is, well, first of all, the tools that we're using, the AI, whatever bot we're talking to or whatever guy's controlling the bot on the other side is moving way faster, way more user-friendly experience. Because I was kind of, we'll get to it, but I know like Julian ha had kind of like a little hesitancy when we were talking about Replit, and he's like, I don't want to get in there and mess it up. That was me last season with Roger's idea. And I was like, oh yeah, just go in there, mess it up. It's part of the thing. You're gonna mess it up. Like
Okay.
Roger's already messing it up, like. But I don't think he did really. But like that's the whole point. It's so easy to do that stuff this season. So super excited for that. And then like even this season through Replit, we can get on the App Store. So just leaps and bounds from season one where we were doing like almost like a Photoshop mock-up of what the app would look like versus now we can, if we wanted to, pull up a screen, pull up Replit, throw season one idea in there and have like a tangible MVP out the gate. So just everything's moving rapidly. It's crazy, but it's good. And then at the end of the day, I think building, obviously, seeing if we get lucky, build something that goes crazy, but at the same time too, being that example, showing, hey, look, we just hopped on Replit, and we were able to make something. So if you have an idea, this is how easy it is. This is the internet, this, so you don't want to get
Yeah.
left behind. Hop on, you know, AI is the new thing. It's going to be here for a short time before it takes us over. Let's go ahead and have fun with it. Let's use it.
Mm.
Guys,
Yeah,
what are y'all excited for this season?
Yeah, no, thanks for kicking it off. Yeah, no, I
yeah.
think I really enjoyed the structure that we've laid out this season. Last season I felt like you get caught up in life and doing this, doing that, where I feel like having those dedicated working sessions now, especially like before even episode one, we already
Plus
have a
one.
bunch of progress that we've made, a lot of stuff we've been able to do, but just being able to just sit down in a room together and just kind of crank through it live, I think was super helpful for me.
Yeah.
So really excited about the new format and really excited what we have to share already, kind of kicking off into the first episode.
Yeah, definitely. I plus one to all that. And I think that um part of the thing that I think I'm excited for is just to like build you guys, like we called it, building with the boys for a reason, not like, specifically coding with the boys or, anything like that. Is building, right? And I'm excited to just build with y'all because I think that we already like, as you mentioned, kind of like the working session format where we kind of get together, jam out, for a couple hours. Like that type of brainstorm energy is what like I think I was missing in terms of like taking it to a next step. Because the things that Julian think about, Ez thinking about, I haven't thought about. So it's good to have like a collective brain matter together, and it's fun to use these tools because I think that we're people are like, oh, who's winning the AI race? Like really, like the game hasn't even started yet, right? Like in terms of mass adoption, we're like at the early adoption phase, right? Like it's like no one's won yet. We're still figuring it out. Like we just agentic AI is only been a thing really for, a couple months now, really, where we can start using it and things like that. And even like with that, it's not like, it's the early adapters of that too. So we're just trying to figure it out as we go. We're not AI experts. We're not coders by trade. We just kind of, vibe with the boys and build with the boys. And, this season is building an app. Next season it could be building something else. So I think that I'm agnostic to the tools. I just want to like start, building and getting reps in. And part of it's failing, doing things, failing, not liking it. But, we get a good portfolio repertoire behind us, in front of us is gonna look a lot better. So that's what I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Julian for
Absolutely.
mentioning the office hours. Just getting on a link just like this, 2 hours just rolling all the ideas. I love the 2 hour thing. The 2 hours fly by the way.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Um,
dude.
definitely do.
and just being productive in the same room, that's energy, that like productivity, just open space. Roger's always saying no wrong answers, no, nothing, no wrong answers,
Yeah.
just no mistakes.
No.
Just throw whatever you want to throw into the pot.
Yeah.
And then we come out with results, which is a nice use because sometimes you hop on a Zoom meeting, no results. I'm not just
Hmm.
professional, personal. Sometimes you hop on a Zoom meeting, nothing happened. That was my hour. Like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I came out with more things to do. We come out with tangible results.
Yeah.
So the office hours is nice. We look forward to doing those throughout the season. Kind of have kind of progress behind the scenes kind of episodes and stuff that we can post. Just no edits on our part. Just straight up like here's what we did. This was us in the
Yeah.
kitchen. And then yeah, I like the the openness of just yeah, let's build. And it could be tech, it could be something else. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole point was to be able to build and show people, look, we're three guys just winging it. If we make something, you can make something. You can wing it. You can go out there. You can make something too.
Yeah,
There's all
definitely.
these tools. We do it the scrappy way.
Yeah, I love it. And I think that like one thing that I love is like when y'all have a problem with something, like we can think like I immediately start thinking, okay, how can we make something to solve that problem? And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like I just make little apps for me that are helpful in my life, and that's part of the game too. Is like you see a problem in your daily life, oh, that would be fun if like this happened. You look it up, there's nothing like that. Like, okay, let me just build it. Maybe other people will find that helpful, but for me, I'm already like making my life easier, building like small little like apps that took like an hour to think to go from idea to writing it down to making a prompt to getting a coding agent to do it for me to being live and on my phone and using it daily. Those things are possible now, and it's really fun. And the more of those things we can find and optimize for our daily lives, I think we can think about they just get better over time. So it's really fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was just like, because I was hitting that roadblock where I was like, Roger, how do I go from idea on Replit to something I can actually use so I can be my own feedback loop for my own ideas? And he showed me, oh, it's super simple. The same way you just kind of bookmark a website to be on your app screen. He's like, you just do that, and he showed me like two different apps that he made that he's using. And so super simple stuff to be able to make and then put on your own phone and then be your own feedback loop or send it to other folks and then have them do that. Shout out to the board. I'll make the first mention of the board of directors who
Ooh.
helped guide us this year. I mean, that's been one of the changes. We have a voting council. We have uh, a group that we adopted from last season's Friends and Family round, plus maybe a few new faces in there. Um, so that's been great, and that leads into the actual building part for this season. Going into the idea, we kind of open sourced it. We came up with a bunch of ideas this season, and then we didn't put whose idea was what. We just threw a bunch of ideas into a voting mechanism. I think it's what was it, Google Polls or something like that, and then we sent it
Oh
out to the
yeah, it's like
board.
a Google form.
Yeah, Google Form, and then we sent out. Let me see.
Let me try to find it real quick. I had it
Oh
somewhere
yeah,
up, but I
yeah.
want
They
to
just
just paste it somewhere. 1 second.
yeah.
I don't have my contacts in, so I'm like, man, this is what I used to like my old glasses. This is my old prescription. I'm like, man, this is how I used to see. Like I can't see anything. Like this is my daily life.
Can y'all see the screen?
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Perfect.
Classic Zoom question out the gate, season one. Still not sure if I'm sharing the screen. Um,
Yeah,
but
maybe
yeah, so
zoom in. One thing that I noticed from
yeah,
when I was doing my recording is well, if I wasn't like if I didn't like zoom in further, the top right screen.
a
Yeah,
little
perfect.
better.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. That was way
So
better.
yeah, we sent this out there. Hey, welcome board of directors. We're leaving everything to a vote. Here's a deadline, and here's our idea. So number one, hey, do you want to be part of the do you want to be part of the team? Do you want to be part of our board? So I put the yes. it's us. So I kind of joked around with it, put a bunch of no's. Out of the 14 people we sent this to, one person said no. The only thing I couldn't backtrack was like who said that. So unfortunately,
Which
now
is
we have
probably what we
14.
want, right?
We got
We're
14
watching.
members.
We're watching you. We're watching.
Yeah, we got
That
14
was me
members.
actually.
Yeah. I'm getting spammed here. I don't want this. But then we had these ideas just real quick. One was like an event planning tool to help you, maximize how many people show up. One was a personal coach for anything, just kind of like the Uber of personal private lessons. You can learn anything on it. One was a personal finance advisor. So leveraging the AI to make sure, tracking your habits and making sure you're being, optimized with your money. And
Hmm.
then the other one was the social media platform where it's just a one source where every notification you get is fed into the same app. And so you can check your emails, you can respond to text, you can respond to everything through this one app. So we sent that to the board and we had them vote. And we'll see. Here's our one person. Not at this time. Don't
Sorry about
listen to the
that.
7%. It was just one person.
That's not
So,
bad. Not bad
yeah.
numbers, you know.
Yeah. No, we're pretty good for friends and family. But see, even your friends and family is one person that don't fuck with you. But
Oof. Now I want to know who are you?
yeah, I
Like,
know. I ask everyone when I see them in person. Were you that? Did you say no?
Were you the guy?
Yeah. And then the other thing is, here's a breakdown. So we sent the ideas out there, and then 50% was the personal coach that throws for whatever throws life throws at you. So improving your golf swing to mastering algebra. So from there, we had the winner, and then we just got straight to it. Um, so Roger, that was your idea.
yeah, and I already regret
Well,
it. Like,
well,
as
walk us through the genesis of it, and then all the way to the regret of it. What's going on?
honestly, this is just a problem that I had, and that's kind of what I was thinking about when we were brainstorming ideas. My original idea was, the product, but then I had problem where I was like, the start of the year I took up golfing. I bought myself some golf clubs over Christmas. I am absolute garbage. And so I was like, man, and then I found it hard to like find golf coaches. Like if you go to some places, there's like a yard sign that has a phone number. I'm like, no, like, I don't want to do that. Like, I need some ratings, I need something. And so I looked a little bit, like casually, maybe like, 10, 15 minutes, nothing too crazy. But I was like, there's not like an easy way to find like a golf coach that has rates that, like I can see, people's feedback on this guy, right? Or girl. There's just a bunch of yard signs at a golf, at a tee off. So that was the genesis. And then I think when we were playing basketball, we were brainstorming ideas. We got together the off season. We just played some basketball, talked some shit, talked some stuff. And then I was realizing that I forgot how to like I really wanted to learn how to lay up with my left hand because I think like once you kind of learn both hands layup, you're kind of unstoppable in basketball, right? They think they got you, you can go left. And then like I had to learn how to like lay up with my left hand and now I'm okay with it, but like I was like I wish somebody could like teach me this or there's somewhere I can learn that. Or I basically just watched a bunch of YouTube videos, wasted a lot of time there versus like, I was just at basketball, the court, and I saw like a coach there with someone, and I was like, okay, cool, talking to them, like, how do you find people, like, hey, it's word of mouth, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that was kind of the genesis of it. But then it's full circle to the second part of the question is like, now what I regret it is I realized that like to kind of do that the way we were thinking about it, you kind of have to build a two-sided marketplace, right? Like it sounds cool, like the Uber of personal training or coaching, but then you're building one app for the consumer, one app for the trainer, and figuring out how to merge them. And I think that's more of an advanced kind of like thing to do with a coding agent. Not to say it's impossible, as we saw, like we got some good progress, but then I was like, damn, like that's actually a little bit harder than like some of the other ideas, out there. But it was good to see it got a lot of traction. I think people, I think the way we worded it was interesting. I think I did like the Uber of coaching, and I think I was like, oh, that's gonna win because of the way it's worded.
Mm.
The marketing for that idea alone.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Going from so much data to make a decision on like where to catch some good Chinese food to okay, I want to improve my golf swing one-on-one with a person. Oh, just a yard sign and a phone number. It's a real big lack of data. So that was the gap that you identified, and I think that's a good one. I mean, even back in my small business general contracting days, you would see a lot of your competition have a yard sign, and that was how people made or how they thought like the market wanted that information. But we're in an age now where you should be able to look up so much more, have be able to support your decisions with data. With data,
Mhm.
Yeah,
there's
definitely.
data, and I found a third way to say it.
We're used to it
Uh,
now.
yeah.
It's like finance and finance. Like I got corrected in my finance class. The teacher was like, "It's finance," and I was like, is it though?" Like, okay, fine. Like, sorry.
Yeah, if they want to be all uppity.
Later on, but I think that that went to the, the brainstorming sessions and thinking about it differently. And then we were able to just feed in. It looks horrible right now, but we were able to feed in, the summation of all three of ours brain dump in from ChatGPT to here to give it, and it's a long prompt, right? But it still was something that gave us basic, a good version of what we wanted to do. And I think that it did a good job of blending all the ideas that we had specifically together for, in my opinion, an app that's a little bit harder because we did have to think about two sides of the equation, right? Versus just maybe just a one-sided thing, right? If you're saying, hey, make Flappy Birds, right? Like that's pretty easy. That's an easy thing to do. But we were kind of like, we have a database, we have user logins, we have user logins on both sides, the coaches and the users. So that could be two different database tables in the background. That's two different ways that people sign in, right? So we had to think about things, from different perspectives, which is a little harder. And I think it still gave us a good output though.
Yeah, I have it here to share. Julian, after we built it, we had round one of the app. Julian was like real quick to hop on the blind spots and the things that was missing. Um, I love that Julian always goes to liability out the gate, and,
Yeah.
like safety, security.
He's so
We're talking about the
responsible.
logins.
Put in
Yeah,
all the safety features, like let's
yeah.
not meet in like public places, let's not meet at somebody's house, like all that, stuff. You hear all these crazy stories about stuff happening on Uber, and you walk into something like this, you're like, okay, well, let's put some guardrails up.
Someone there's a comedian that has a joke about that, where it's just like, would you ever just get into somebody's random car and then just drive off with them, and then give them money? And it's just like, no, but if you do it through an app, oh, it's okay. But yeah, no, Julian started this cleanup section of our work page, where he just started writing down like different things we need to add or different things that we're
Yeah,
missing. And that's kind of a working document. We're just like, there's some things that are checked right now, some things that are not. And those are just different features that we're adding to it. I know Julian added to be able to create a password for the login session, because it was just
for
kind of like
sure.
a tool. And then later on, he made it where you can actually have like a username and be able to log in and remember the stuff that you're working on.
Yeah.
Um,
And you kind of see that, in the app. And
yeah,
that's kind of part of where I liked it too, is like after our working session of building it, we just went in dog food. That's what they call, dog fooding is just going into your product, trying to break it, seeing where the holes are. And I think that, adding that somewhere that we can then have visibility on that and then take action on it, and try to fix those. We ran into the problem where we ran out of tokens, like, so like that's kind of where I stopped. I was like, I don't want to pay more right now.
Yeah.
But I think we're making good progress for that. And then I think you do see like, the idea like of where we meet up, right? And how we do that. Like it all kind of started making sense as we were building it, right? So you don't have to have the perfect vision to start, right? You just have to start somewhere, right? And then from there you go in, you try to break it, you dog food it, you try to make it better as your time goes on. Make sure to document those things. And the good thing about like Replit, and Replit's just one of the flavors, right? There's Lovable. There's other apps that do a similar thing. I just like Replit personally. I've used a couple other ones. I just think the UI is very intuitive and it gets what I want to do quicker than other ones. Um, I do find that I run out of tokens faster, but I think it's because I'm more comfortable using it more, right? So I'm asking it to do more things sometimes at once. And the more you ask it to do and build, the faster you're going to burn through your tokens. And you can still, I mean, but also it's like $20, right? It's not play money, but we are playing with it, at the same time and building. So, but yeah, I thought we got really far what we were able to do in that, couple windows that we had to build it.
100%. And Roger, actually, if you wouldn't mind maybe explaining the tokens for maybe some people who don't know, I think that'd be helpful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically, how tokens work with AI, it's the cost of doing business. I guess you could think about it, right? So it's the cost of like asking and answering, right? So every time you do that, it's not like a one for one thing, by character. It's by how it's aggregated together, and it sends you back. Like tokens are basically like, I guess you could think of it like tolls to use AI, right? It's the cost of the compute between like the send and receive of it too. So I mean, this is, I don't know, probably a couple million tokens, right? Now that's not $1 million, right? That's not how it works, but it's, maybe $20 of spend that we use for, I don't know, this is probably like, 10 million tokens. But then also different AIs or models have different costs to them. So if you use like, Nano or something, or Minimax, I think is one, like there's a lower token cost. But if you use, Opus, right, from Claude, it's like the top of the line coding agent, right? It's going to cost a lot more to use. So you might be able to get less done. So, there's some of those costs as well in terms of like, do you want a super smart, um, LLM, or are you just good with like something to get by, right? And usually I just kind of do like in the middle, right? And I think that works for me. But sometimes you will get less. Your output will suck a little more, or you'll have to try a little bit harder because you're kind of using like a not as fast LLM, basically to use it. So
Awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for walking through that.
Yeah, and then Roger, one thing I learned from working with you is anytime, and this is something the audience can take away too, anytime you're using AI to make something or to research something, feel free to ask AI to be an expert in this, to be an
oh
expert in
yeah.
that. Like you're building a flyer for a party. Hey, make this flyer. Okay, cool. Or you can say, hey, you're a graphic design expert with a million years of experience in this kind of events. Make the flyer, and it'll make two different flyers.
Yeah, there's actually a really good like I'll try to find it real quick. Maybe we can link in the show notes. But there's a really good like Google did a like prompting 101, and it was from like last year.
Oh
But I
yeah,
thought it
the
was
the
like a
breakdown,
really good. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
to talk to it.
And I thought it was like a really good version of that. Oh yeah, here it
Yeah,
is, the prompting guide. But that was like, if the TLDR of this is basically like, hey, like be super specific. I think it was like here, right?
there you go.
So they give you kind of like a little formula. And again, this is from like a year ago, but it's still really good, right? In terms of being very specific, asking the AI to be very specific to what you need. And I like A/B tested this with a couple different versions of it, and it was pretty interesting, like how different the output would be when you actually make it very specific versus general. The less you have to make it think or assume, the more specific your prompts or sorry, your responses are going to be from the prompt. So yeah, play around with it. But this thing is, I think this is like 100 pages or something. I didn't read it all. Basically, I put this into ChatGPT and said, or Gemini. I was like, hey, explain this to me. Like,
Yeah, there
give me
you
the TLDRs, baby.
Yeah.
But it's a lot in there. But it was really good. I've read a couple pages, but nothing too crazy. But yeah.
And then to touch back on the pricing that Julian brought up, and thank you for explaining, Roger. The pricing, yeah, it's $20 to start to get a profile going. I think that's the minimum you can start with. And then from there you say, like for example, our app, it was missing a search bar, and I say, hey, well, can you put a search bar in there to allow folks to look up whatever trainers or hobbies or interests are in the area? And it's like, yeah, sure. And it's working, it's working, it's working. And at the end, it tells you the transaction cost or the thinking cost or whatever the way they phrase it is. And it was like $2 to do that. And so throughout the life of the app, you're gonna be making those little transactions to gain progress on it.
Man, I love using like I love doing like a very specific thing when I like have to explain something. I'll like ask like chat or anything like, hey, like explain AI tokens to a toddler. And I love like the output you get from some of this. Like I could never think about that. Tokens are little cookie pieces. And yeah, so I wanted to look it
Uh,
up to like get more a little bit more specific, but like each byte is one token of the string that you're putting together. This is like breaking it down pretty interesting, like yeah, small chunks of words. That's I think that's the part I missed. Where's like the
And it's like, and we charge for everything, even the spaces.
I like it. See, at the end, sometimes I'll even do like a four dummies, that's pretty
mhm.
fun too. But like tokens are little word snacks. AI eats to understand and talk. I love that too. It's so funny.
Money, please.
And then it gives you other like, hey, I can explain it like a gas in a car. I can give you other analogies if this analogy isn't your best analogies.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Let's do that. Like, oh, sorry, I was just
Roger,
having fun.
do you have the replit? Can you show that one more time? I just wanted to
Yeah.
show the QR code part.
Can you see it?
So, well, yeah,
Mhm.
once you have your product, your MVP, you go here to this little scan, you download the app it needs to be able to it's called Expo Go. That's
Hmm.
the app that's gonna host your idea, and then you download it, you give it the link, and then all of a sudden, you're able to tangibly have the app on your phone.
Yeah,
So
for
that's, I
testing
mean,
purposes. You
from
have your own
20
sandbox.
bucks, from 20 bucks, you throw your ideas in there, it builds something, and then you download the app. And now you have the thing that you built in your hand. You can share it with friends. All three of us had the app on our phone. That's how we were kind of giving ourselves that feedback of like, oh, hey, look, it's missing that, it's missing this. Seeing it from the
Yeah.
customer side, seeing it from the coach side. So just already season 3, episode 1, have the tangible app, and we already have our own feedback loop going. Super
Yeah, and
exciting.
like it's not just localized to you, like we last week we had one of our board members on for our working session and he was able to like get in there, use it, kind of same thing, you can give this to people to help you out before because you can do right now you're kind of gated to do you can do web apps and basically a web app is just an app or a web version of your app through your browser, right? But you can have your browser on your phone, browser and your computer, whatever, and then you have a mobile version. Right now, they don't play together, so you can't take your mobile app and make it web. You can't take your web make it mobile, but you can take your idea and then say, hey, remake this into mobile, right? So you got to think about that right now. I think they do want I watched one of the app developer for Replit webinars, and they do want the interplay. That's like one of the most like the thing that's like highest like asked. They just don't have that now. I can see how that's a pain in the butt, right? But you can still take one and then reform it into another. So that's something to think about as well. I will say that the web version, getting something to production is a lot easier because for the App Store, all the little changes you make have to get republished. So, there's that consideration. It's a little bit, it's more annoying than anything right now, right? Because every little change you have to republish. So you want to get your app as close to what your final is going to be before you hit publish to the iOS store. So you don't have to keep going back and then having it, people are still checking your app to say, hey, does this make sense? Should it be on the store? So there is some latency there. So if you're just starting, I would say like web version first. And then when you feel good about it, then try to like, take all that information and then redo it as a mobile app.
Yeah, and honestly, this is kind of crazy to me being able to actually just download something and have it on your phone.
Yeah,
Like,
it worked really
I
well for
think
me
it's
too.
one thing to have it in the browser and poke and play with it is already really cool, but just being able to actually like physically touch it in the app like feels really good. So that was honestly crazy, and how quickly it came together too. I think within an hour or so we already had something that we could play with. Obviously, there were some bugs and kinks we're
Yeah.
working through, but just being able to go hey, throw something together real quick, and then in the span of like an hour, I already have something on my phone that I can go poke around in. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that, it wasn't where we wanted it from the first go, and that's okay. I think we learned that with season one and season two. Like, hey, it's never going to be exactly as you expect it because there are assumptions made on our side and the model side. But if get in there, you can't break. And if you break it, great. You can always revert. There was a change that we had earlier. I don't know if it's still here, but I broke something, so I just reverted it back to a different version. That does eat your token costs up too. Just keep that in mind. Like if you revert back, I think that's what 8R token costs is. I had like reverted a big change that I made, but you're not gonna break it. You can always go back and redo it from a different version. So don't feel like, oh, I don't want to break anything. You should break it because then you can learn how to revert changes. Then, right? It's everything's a learning opportunity. But I think that the thing that we got at the end was really good. And I'm really proud of it. In the time that we spent for it.
So that makes the end or the season, whenever we share this with investors or people that we pitch to, that's make it super exciting because either we send them a link to the Play Store or the Apple Store. Hey, download this app, and while we're pitching, maybe they're playing around with it, going, "Oh man, this is really cool," or maybe like, "Ah, this is shit. What the hell?" Oh, and then, or maybe we feed it through Expo Go. Hey, use the QR code in our pitch deck to download it. Like to get the beta mode. So super exciting to how already like again the progress being made with these apps and just our experience with it to be able to get stuff to this point at episode 1. This is
Oh, I
something
didn't
that
even
we
know
would
that
roll
did
out
that.
at the end of a season. This is something we already have out the gate. So super excited. Looking ahead into the rest of the season. So we're gonna lean on the board for a lot of important key decisions. I think that so far in this app, we kind of threw all of our stuff together. It's been very aligned. And we haven't really had any decisive forks in the mo road of, okay, we're going to go this way out, or we have to vote and we have to do this. Right now, the app is just, we're on the same page, we're aligned, everything's kind of working. But
Yeah.
eventually, if we hit a point where we need a vote, we're going to send it to the board for their approval and kind of see which way they're leaning. Because at the end of the day, we're making this for the population and letting the population have that voice. So that's exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I think that it's good to see people like want to help and get in there. And we had one of our board members on, like I said, the last show, and I think it's cool that people want to be there, want to help, and like want to like give us their recommendation considerations. We have a lot of really smart fucking friends, dude, and really cool guys and girls. So I think that it's definitely a network that like I'm excited to have because I think that everyone has a very specific. I mean, Cody was like that dude was like an AI security expert, and he was like in there giving us perspectives. I'm actually next book I'm reading is an Asimov book. He mentioned it last week, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to get an Asimov. Like I want to like iRobot. Like I slept on like his influence and stuff. But like I'm gonna do that short book. Like it's gonna be fun. But I wouldn't have done that if he wouldn't have just jumped on and like gave us his perspective on like AI and security and you know the uprising of AI also, which I'm terrified but also excited about.
It's gonna happen. Yeah, super
Oh yeah,
excited for the board to hop in and provide that different perspective, provide that voice to guide us. Which you can also expect more involvement of them this season.
for sure.
Also more of us posting the office hours, so you can just kind of see our work sessions and how that goes. That way you can follow along. Maybe you follow the same steps, or you just just get inspired by seeing three guys just throw random prompts into stuff and see what happens. So yeah, we'll have more of that being posted. I know we have a blog. We launched a lot of different socials.
Oh man,
We're
we've
on
been doing a
X
lot.
now.
Jeez.
Reddit. There's a Reddit.
Reddit.
Um, Not OpenClaw yet, but we have just different things going
Oh dude,
where people
working
can
on
find
that.
us because everyone has their own channel. I already had it ready to go. Um, so yeah, just thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna have a lot of stuff for y'all. We have the blog going. So what I want to do after this episode is be able to post some of the links that we talked about, or just links to different things that we mentioned here. That way you can go find it. So just we'll have that ready this season. So yeah, just if you're with us, thanks for being with us, and we'll have all this stuff available for y'all, so y'all can follow along, build your own stuff, follow our journey. Be part of the team there. Help us, guide where this goes. Guys, any last words? Anything y'all want to say?
No, I'm just really excited with the amount of progress we've already been able to make, kind of kicking off the season with something tangible. I think it's a really, really good and strong start, and really excited about the new format. So,
Yeah, I mean, I just love being here. Like, I think like this is almost like a forcing mechanism also for me to like stay on top of the new and hot AI stuff, like getting in there, learning about tokens, learning about like OpenClaw and agents like that, like just trying to stay at the forefront of things. Like I see it two ways, man. Like you either are terrified of AI and it's taking it take our jobs, or you can get on there and get in there and make an impact for maybe your organization, sure, but yourself, right? Like AI is gonna take our job, or it's gonna change our jobs, 100%, man. But at the same time, you can either be against it or you can just lean into it. It's like you said, Ed, with like the internet, right? People were terrified of the internet, and it came and it did destroy some jobs, but it also made a lot more jobs than it destroyed. And I think AI is going to be a very similar thing. We're in the early, we don't even know what the game is. It's not even early innings. No one's at bat yet. First pitch hasn't been thrown. So we're at a super exciting time to figure all this out.
Very good
And
point.
building with y'all makes me figure this stuff out, you know?
I want to share this quote from Mr. Sam Altman. Did y'all hear this?
Oof, oof.
When he was at some kind of conference, and he was talking about, like, yeah, we talk about how much energy our models and our AI is
Sure.
taking to do what it does, but we're not ever talking. No one's ever mentioning how much energy humans take up. Like
mm,
all that time they're learning their skills, or being, what is it, 20 years old, like all that food that goes into that's waste too of
I
energy.
mean,
that's fair.
I don't,
That's a
I'm
fair
not a big
point.
Sam fan, but like I get it
Yeah,
too. Yeah, I don't disagree. Like it's an interesting perspective. I like it though.
yeah.
It
So
makes sense.
there was an immediate backlash.
Oh, of course, anything